Pastor James Owens here. A little raspy voice today. And I'm going to read to you from 1 Kings chapter 1, verse 51. And it was told Solomon, saying, Behold, Adonijah feareth King Solomon. For lo, he hath caught hold in the horns of the altar, saying, Let King Solomon swear unto me today that he will not slay his servant with the sword. Solomon said, If he will show himself a worthy man, there shall not a hair of him fall to the earth. But if wickedness shall be found in him, he shall die. So King Solomon sent, and they brought him down from the altar, and he came and bowed himself to King Solomon. Solomon said unto him, Go to thine house. This is an interesting story. Solomon has just become king. He's on the throne. And there were some people who tried to usurp David's authority and Solomon's authority. And Solomon becoming king, Adonijah was one of them, and involved in an uprising. It didn't work out, and Solomon became king anyway, so Adonijah knew he was in trouble. He ran to the temple, and he laid hold of the horns of the altar. And he said, if I want to die, then let me die here on this altar. And they told him, and he told them, he said, he said, tell Solomon, saying, swear that he will not kill me. And Solomon said, if he be found a worthy man, I'll let him live. There won't be a hair of his head touched. But if he's found wickedness, I'll slay him. So they sent for him. He came before Solomon, bowed before him, acknowledging his kingship, and he sent him home. And the Bible said Solomon sent him to his house. Interesting story there. But the point I want to point out is, in this devotional this morning, things change at the altar. Life-altering decisions are made at the altar. You can be facing death, but you can get in the altar, and that can change. You can find an altar. You can build an altar wherever you're at. You can build an altar to pray. You can get out on your couch, your bedroom, the church. If you're in the church, the altar. Altar, and when I refer to the altar, I'm not just referring to a wooden bench somewhere or a wooden handmade altar. I'm referring to the altar of your life. Wherever you build one and can talk to God and touch God, wherever you can contact God at, that becomes an altar. That becomes a memorial to you. Things happen at the altar. Adonijah was facing a bad situation, and he had it coming. He wasn't innocent. He had it coming. But he got in that altar. He laid hold of the horns of that altar that turned everything around. I want to encourage you today. I want to point out how powerful an altar is, how powerful an encounter with God is. You can be facing impossible situations, but if you can just get in that altar, God can turn it around or give you the grace to face it, whatever the case may be. The altar is life-changing. That's the cry of my heart. Just let me in the altar. When I'm dealing with the winds of adversity, let me in the altar. When I'm dealing with sickness, let me in the altar. When I'm dealing with financial trouble, let me in that altar. When I'm facing storms and questions that I don't have answers for, let me in that altar. Whatever I'm going through in life, just let me in that altar. I told my wife the other day, it's been a year ago, there was a bad, tragic situation in her family. I said, so far in life, I said, everything I've faced, I said, if I can just get 5 minutes somewhere with God alone, it's going to be all right. We don't know what we're going to face. We live for God by faith every day. But we got to have that altar. We got to have a connecting point, because you don't know when you're going to need to run to it for safety. You don't know when you're going to need to run to it. The name of the Lord is a mighty strong tower, and the righteous run therein and are safe. You can run into the name of the Lord at that altar. You can run into the name of the Lord. You can run into the power of God. Anyone who has had a life-changing experience and went on to be with the Lord or is walking with God, it's because they had an altar in their life. There's an altar, more than one in their life. There's a place of dying out. There's a place of laying hold of God. So I want to encourage you today. Fall in love with the altar. Fall in love with what happens at the altar. Have you a connecting point in your life? You've got to have that altar. Lay hold of the horns of it. It's life-changing. Just let me in that altar. That needs to be our daily cry. God bless you today. Have a great day in the Lord.